What is up? I'm excited because we are live right now. So for those who are tuning in or tuning in later or tuning in at some time when they're tuning in, we's live. With Cardi B. We live now. We live. I'm excited, guys, because I've been talking about this for like a minute and a half. And I've been letting folks know that I've invited my good friend that I went to high school with, and she's out there doing some big things. And I've already interviewed her, which you're right there. I've already interviewed you and everything, and we're actually going to play the replay of your interview tonight on 106tbcradio.com. So I'm really excited about that. And that's going to come on at 8 o'clock. But I wanted to bring you on here because I started to do this new thing where I was like pre-interviewing people before I go onto the radio. And I said, wait a minute, I got to get my girl Half Pint on there. So what's up?
What's up, sister girl? Listen, I am so excited, and I thank you again for all the love and support. Yes, we do go way back, but I do appreciate it, even though we go way back. I got the little, I got the hookup, so I appreciate you, and I thank you because you're doing some big things, and I'm so proud of you. Strong Island is in the house. Freeport, Port Knox, all day, every day. I definitely thank you, and this is, I just so appreciate all the love that you've given me and everyone else as far as, the career that I've had over the years and with this new single. I definitely appreciate it.
Yes, yes. We're going to talk about that single in a second, but I'm so excited right now. I'm trying to get like all my thoughts together. I wrote down some stuff and everything else like that. But for those who are tuning in and they're like, okay, who is Half Pint? Go ahead and describe yourself.
All right. I'm Half Pint from Son of Berserk featuring No Self Control. We are a 90s hip hop group that came out in the 90s. It was definitely a cult classic group. Down with the 510 family, Public Enemy, Leaders of the New School, Paul Shabazz, Slick Mix, everybody that was down at 510 at Franklin on Franklin Avenue in Hempstead. And it's been a hell of a ride, and it's definitely, I can say I've been blessed. I've done things and seen people only in my dreams that I would imagine. But I'm the first female hype chick, as well as an MC. In the group, I am the Lynn Collins to Berserk's James Brown. We have been out. We've been doing this for about 30 years now. Our first project came out my sophomore year in college, called Berserk, Berserk, Berserk. And then we were also on the Juice soundtrack. We were signed to Soul MCA Records. That was run by Hank Shockley from the Bomb Squad. Shout out to the Bomb Squad. Shout out to, again, all of 510 family, Johnny Juice, Slick Mix, Paul Shabazz, PE, Salute, which was a machine like Motown. They were just churning out those groups, cultivating them and giving them a platform. And I happened to be on one of the groups that was able to take that ride with them. And we've been riding ever since.
Wow. Wow. Look, you said a mouthful, and I tried to write down some of this stuff so I could touch on it and everything else like that. But I'm actually going to start from like the very beginning. I'm going to ask a question. I want to know, you said you've been a hype woman, you've been on all of these soundtracks and stuff like that. What got you into the whole hip hop biz in the first place?
Well, we were born in the hip hop culture, that's the generation that we came under. Shout out to and salute to the hip hop gods and goddesses, those pioneers who paved the way. I was, with my friends, we were always at the back of the bus or in class writing rhymes and battling and freestyling, all that kind of stuff. That was something that was what we did. It was part of our daily routines. So it was nothing foreign for me, but was shocking was the opportunity to actually be able to be a part of a group, be signed to a label, be able to put out music, go on tours and stuff like that. And that actually happened because I was with my homegirls and that full crew. We was playing ball like we do every summer during the summer while we were in college, because I played in college. And when we were home, everybody got a chance to spend time with each other since we were always traveling with our teams, being that we played in college. We got home, we would play ball. We were at the park, local park Centennial at Roosevelt, which is also called the Terra Dome, and we were playing ball. And then I got pushed to the side because I wasn't taking it seriously because I was playing around talking trash. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna talk some more trash. And I just kept, trash talking to the fellas that we were playing, because we usually played fellas. And we bust them, because that's what we do. And then, a guy walked up to me and was like, yo, you sound like you can make records. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever, because where did that happen at, So he's like, no, I'm serious. Like I'm a producer. I produced this group. This is now. I was like, yeah, all right. And then, so I gave him my number anyway. And he came to my house. He had to talk to my grandparents because I was underage. And I was home for the summer from college. And he talked to my grandparents. He let them know, like, listen, really want to put on this group, really want to put her on, we'll look after her, we'll take care of her, whatever. My grandparents was like, all right, well, and they asked me what I wanted to do. And I was like, all right, I'm still not really thinking that this is something that's, I'm in the moment, so I don't know. And the next thing I know, he picked me up. We went to Green Street Studios in the city, and I was recording Change the Style with the fellas, and I had already knew them previously because they were like mainstays around my house and with around my family. So it wasn't anything foreign. They just happened to be a little older than I was, and they had already been established. They were known as the Townhouse 3 on Long Island, putting it down, putting in work. And when the opportunity presented itself for them to actually be signed, Hank and Bill Stephanie, who were owners at the time, they actually, put them on. Again, they were part of the 510 PE machine and Bomb Squad Spectrum, all that part of the machine. And I was just an addition to that. And it worked. It was chemistry that actually worked. I am like the little sister to all of them, so it's a great opportunity. It was, like I said, I met some wonderful people. I've been able to do some wonderful things. I can truly say that I've been blessed to have this opportunity, and I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off.
I love it. I love it. Now, you mentioned some pretty big names, and those who grew up in our area, like the Berzac and then Berzac, I'm sorry, and then Public Enemy. Could you tell us, like, what was that like working with them?
Like I said, they treated me like I was a little sister. Being on tour with them, we were on, a couple of tours with them. They have, I could say Chuck has the habit of making everybody feel like family. So it didn't matter what group you were in, what tour you were on, who you were, how big you were. Everybody kind of gelled, hung together. They supported each other during the shows. After the shows, we'd hang out. So it was more like it was family oriented. And, hip hop in itself is a close knit family where at least 6 degrees of separation. Somebody knows somebody that, hung with somebody or whatever like that. And and they're embracing. And that's what I love about hip hop, because of the elements that are created in it. They make you feel as if this community is about camaraderie, love of one another, respect, and also being able to find your voice.
Wow, I love it. I love it. And speaking about your voice, so you got some music out there that we play right here on 106 that I'm like, I love it. When I play it, people recommend, they're like, oh, could you play that music by Half Pint? And we got some great stuff like To Wanna Be a Star. And then you got your new music out and everything else like that. Before we talk about your new music, I want to talk about To Wanna Be a Star. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because that is the one that is mostly recommended. People are always asking, about that the most? Tell us a little bit about that
Oh,
with the
Tomorrow
sun.
Wants to Be a Star. That was the track actually was done by Johnny Juice Rosado of again, Down with the 510 family. He's a great producer. He has a lot of insight, a lot of instinct. He is like, you know, watching him work is like watching the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like he just is just amazing. And he had this track, and I'm like, yo, I was like, can I write to these? Like, and you gotta come correct when you're around the fellas when it comes to writing and it comes to putting something together. And that's one of the things, I thought I was, I'm my toughest critic, but you still got to get through the fellas. And Juice is no different when it comes to it. He'll let you know. And I was grateful that he allowed me to rock on that track. And it came out of me just kind of looking at some of our behavior as women, and knowing that we want more, we want to do better, and that we can do better, but we get sidetracked in the distractions that happen, and we kind of get, sidetracked and look for the wrong things and what will empower us and make us successful. And I think that those reality shows that we see, and the Jerry Springers and all those kind of things, those are things that are or for entertainment. But a lot of times what ends up happening is that is more scripted than it's not. And they have a habit of psychologically putting people together in situations that they know are going to exploit people's vulnerabilities. And I wanted to kind of just talk about that from the perspective of, we're strong, we're intelligent, we're powerful, but we got to be careful about what we're looking for and making sure that we find truth within ourselves as opposed to the exterior and aesthetics of everything else.
I love it, and I'm glad you kind of mentioned it. It's like on the subject, but off the subject. What do you think about the female hip hop artists back then? You got the Brat, you got who else? I can't think of all the names right now, but you got all of those people from back in the day versus and MC Light, Queen Latifah, and now you got Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. What do you think about the females from back then versus the females of this? Do you think it's harder for us? Was it harder for us back then than it is now? Is there a respect how they see female rappers?
I think it's I think part of the issue is us being able to dictate our own narrative as women, especially in societies as a whole. Part of, hip hop is a mirror of what we deal with in society and how we're looking for our voice. But I stand on the shoulders, as well as others stand on the shoulders of pioneers and seasoned vets like Sha Rock, Mercedes Ladies, Sequence, Wanda D, Us Girls, Debbie D, Pebbly Pooh, all of these sisters who kind of kicked down the door to make way for what we now see in an expression of ourselves. And there's a time and place for everything. So I never knock a sister for doing what she feels she has to do and telling her truth and telling her story, because it has to be done. But there's a time and a place for it. And whether or not they can control what and when it's being played, that is not that's something that they don't have any control of. You know what I mean? I think that there is exploitation that goes on, but there has been exploitation that has been taking place since, the dawn of the day, when they realized that how powerful we can be, and we are, and the control of trying to dictate to us who and what women should look like, what we should sound like, and what is hip hop in itself. But I salute every woman in hip hop, because it's not easy to be able to be heard, be taken seriously, and be respected. So what they do is provide a voice for a particular target group of women, or women as whole. You know what I mean? You see them exerting their independence. How they do it, depends on and where they do it. That all depends upon the marketing scheme of everything. But I respect sisters who are doing it for themselves and are putting in the work, and that are telling their truth.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, speaking about music, we definitely got to talk about your song, Real Hip Hop. Um, I love it, by the way.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate that.
love your video. I
Thank
love your
you.
flavor. I love everything about it. What
Thank
made you come up with that song? The name of it, Real Hip
I think it was organic because when I got the track, the original track, from the producer Touchy Feely of True Groove Records, and shout out to True Groove, Marlon Mason, Thomas Doka, as well as Touchy Feely. I appreciate the opportunity. When I got the track, I was writing something. I was writing, but it just didn't feel right because it had nothing. It was totally different than what actually came out. But then I kind of sat with it and I was like, nah, that's not what I'm feeling. And then all of a sudden it started, the cadence as well as the verses started coming, and I started just writing. And the teacher in me was editing and re-editing and trying to figure out, and I had to go back like, yo, this is hip hop. I can do. There are no rules when you know what I mean. There are no rules really. So I had to throw out the teacher's edition of English and figure out what was the best way to express myself in my voice
Hop.
about what I felt for hip hop. And this is like a homage and a salute to all of the pioneers who put in the work and made this culture what it is. And we forget, so a lot of time we forget who those pioneers are because we only are looking at what mainstream has been doing and what they're putting out, and people are looking at billboards and how much is sales and all that kind of stuff, as opposed to what the culture was really about and why it came to be, and how again we stand on those shoulders of those who are seasoned vets but don't get the respect they deserve. And that's really where I was coming from in that perspective. And the video came out to be because we were, I'm an educator, so that was like another organic piece. And then the young boy in this video happens to be my nephew. So what it looked like is I'm passing down that torch, I'm passing down that information in a way that's not preachy, in a way that's more or less like what I would do in a classroom, giving them the information, but in a fun, engaging way, so that they understand exactly where this comes from and who they are and how much they have to respect it and preserve it. Because if not, others will dictate the narrative, and they will have you thinking that hip hop started with Eminem or whatever, and not taking away from anybody that is out there now or have been out there, but we have to acknowledge where we come from and those pioneers and those people who put in the work so that we know where we need to go.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And you guys, Real Hip Hop is out there right now. You guys can go ahead and check it out. It's on YouTube, right?
It's the videos on YouTube, and the song is on all the social media platforms: SoundCloud, Mixcloud, all of those. You'll be able to find it. I'm posting it on my Facebook page, Half Pint Facebook page, Half Pint NSC Instagram, as well as Twitter. So hit me up. Let me know what you think. Click on the video. Let me know what you think. The feedback, good or bad, helps me become a better writer. But also it makes me understand it makes me look at what I've done and reflect, because I got to be true to myself. I got to be honest with myself. I got to be able to tell my truth, and I'm not for everybody. It's like I tell my students all the time. Listen, I'm not for everybody. But as long as I'm honest and I can look myself in the mirror, I'm good.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I know I don't have much time on here, so I'm kind of trying to like throw everything in, because what I also want people to do is I want them to check out 106tbcradio.com, because we're going to be playing her song called Real Hip Hop. So we're going to go ahead and play that, which, by the way, people are loving it just as much as they love the other song too. And
I appreciate that.
Thing where people, they'll inbox me and they're very honest. The people who listen to me on 106, they're like, sometimes it kind of hurts my feelings, but But they're very honest and they love your music. And we are so honored to actually play your music on 106. So, guys, we've actually interviewed her before. We're doing things a little bit backwards. Usually, I do my pre interview first, and then I tell you guys to go on over and listen to the other interview. So, she talks about all of this in depth and all of this other good stuff. We also have the question of the day we talk about too. And all of that is on 106 TBC Radio. That comes on at 8 o'clock. By the way, people are inboxing me. They're saying, hey, what's up? A lot of people from Freeport, they're like, what's up? How you doing?
Fort Knox in the house all day, every day. Yes, indeed. That's what I rep. I rep Fort Knox. I love the Veldt. I love the Veldt. Terra Dome, that's where I work. Love it. Love the people. I love the Stead. Love the Dale. I love Strong Island. Fort Knox is what I rep. Listen, you know, we Lady Devils. But I gotta say, I'm humbled at the at the love and support that I've been getting. I appreciate it. And like I said, I've been blessed because I've been put in a position to be able to have my voice heard. And I wanted to make sure that whatever it is that I have to say, that I was being as honest as I could. And I was also making sure that it's something that I can make sure that when, my nephew hears it or any other child can hear it, that they can actually take that and say, you know what, this is where I could build on. Because I'm very mindful and very respectful to those pioneers who put in that work. And that's what I want to make sure that I continue to put at the forefront, saluting those hip hop gods and goddesses and respecting those that are out today and making and bridging that gap. Because that's part of what I do as a co-host of the Hip Hop for Justice podcast. We're bridging the gap between the elders and those seasoned vets with the new artists and the young people that are out there that want to be a part of the music business, as well as the Classroom Hip Hop 101 with Dr. Blizzy. I produced that show, and then producing that show, what we're showing is that when you're a part of the hip hop community and the culture, that is infused. You have to infuse that into your lessons, into your daily routine when you're in the classroom, so that this way we can address the implicit bias, but also address the cultural responsiveness of those people that are in front of those young people.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So what's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. One more question. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Talk about what's on your back wall there. That's hot. Talk about that.
Well, this is, because I do the Hip Hop for Justice show, the podcast, I had to kind of get my office / workout room / everything else room in order. And part of it was breaking out some of those things that I had as memorabilia and putting it up, because I stepped away from, music a little bit for, when I started teaching and just infused hip hop in my lessons and in my classroom. So I kind of was revived again about 2009, 2000, about 2007, between 2007, 2009, when we came back out with Well Thought Out, produced by Johnny Juice. And so I decided to break out those things. We have the Gold album from the Juice soundtrack. We did the song What Could Be Better. And this is the album. That's the poster. And it's actually the original album and poster that they had out in the beginning, but then they, because of the gun violence and issues that they were having, they actually stopped producing that poster, to where when you see Tupac, he's not, nowadays when you see the poster, he's not holding the gun. But the movie in itself was really about a coming of age, in what happens to young brothers who are coming of age and they get distracted by some things that are a part of their environment and finding their way out. The poster down here, this is my new poster for Real Hip Hop for the album, the single. This poster was a picture that was this poster and this picture, which is my logo. Those were pictures that were taken. The picture was taken by Shapiro in California. And this was a picture taken at Chuck D's house. We were setting up for a photo shoot. And Martin asked him, who happens to be a hip hop artist, artist in the physical form, meaning the drawing and everything. He actually kind of did some things with that, some special stuff with that, made me look a little special, dolled me up a little bit even more. And I appreciate that. And these are just like the CDs that we put out, and the album covers of the albums that we had out in the 90s. Berserk, 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 Change the Style, and Bang, Get Swiggy, and Bang. So
shout out to Berserk, Berserk. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys. So I am going to kind of ask you guys to go over and check out my interview that I had in this thing, also with music playing by my girl, have Pint. Real Hip Hop is on there. We're playing that as well. We're also playing some other music by other artists that sent in their music to us. And by the way, you can catch me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesdays, I'm live with my mom and my dad. Crazy, but fun.
That's a beautiful thing, though. Make it a family affair. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I love it. Those two are hilarious. They're hilarious off the mic and on the mic. So it's fun when I have both of them. But anyway, that's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead and check them out. And real fast, before we get off, how can people find you, look you up, and all that other good stuff?
Well, on Facebook, you can find me under you can find my Half Pint page, like my Half Pint page. On Twitter and on Instagram, I am Half Pint NSC. And on YouTube, I have a YouTube page called Rebel Sister. So you can, on that you have there's some lost music from Son of Berserk that you may hear. A young version of me from the 90s, as well as some of the videos of songs that we had done from Well Thought Out.
Awesome. I love it. Oh, and shout out to Abdul and Saheed. I want to say thank you for, they were like, what's up? They put their fingers up and all that other good stuff. So I want to say shout out
to my brothers. I appreciate it.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on here live with me. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be doing this periodically. Let me get, because I got to remember. Also, too, I'm going to be interviewing on the 7th. Her name is Sheena Wiley. She is a model and an actress. I'm also going to be interviewing Dee Dee. She's a Hollywood actress. You've seen her in a lot of big movies. And I'm also going to be interviewing Keisha Jones, which is an up-and-coming actress. So I'm excited, and that's on the 15th. So you guys.
I want to just say one more thing. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for having me on the show. I do got to do a couple of shout-outs if you don't mind. I want to shout out my brothers from Hip Hop for Justice. Make sure you subscribe to Hip Hop for Justice on YouTube. Check out those shows, those podcast shows. I want to shout out Dr. Blizzy, the nation's hip hop principal. Check out his YouTube page, the Classroom Hip Hop 101 with Dr. Blizzy. I actually produced that show. We just had an episode that came out this Sunday, so check that out. We talk about the Million Man March. I gotta shout out my group Son of Berserk, featuring No Self Control, Pop Smash, Berserk, Daddy Raw. I want to shout out True Groove All Stars and True Groove Records with Marla Mace, Touchy Feely, and Tomas Donka. I gotta shout out the Bomb Squad, Keith Shockley, Hank Shockley, and the rest of the brothers, Eric, Bill, Spectrum. I gotta shout out who else I need to shout out? I need to shout out my students. I love you guys because I appreciate it. Past and present students, thank you for the love and the support. I want to salute the hip hop guys and goddesses from the past and the present and the future. And you got to learn how to preserve and respect the culture. Okay. There's a difference between being an MC and being a rapper. And because you rap does not mean you're part of the culture. So we got to preserve it so that we can dictate the narrative. I also want to thank, everybody that supported me from, See Knowledge Doodlebug, from Diggable Planets to X-Plan to Wide Intelligence to all those that want a hip hop guys talk, because they've been sending me love. That now that I have this single out, they were like, it was about time. I want to thank Johnny Juice for being
Johnny.
he's
Yes.
actually, yeah, he's actually he was harsh, so he made me a better writer. But I definitely appreciate Keith and Hank for giving me the opportunity to be able to be on such an epic album and get my start. PE, definitely nothing but love. And like I said, the whole 510 family, Shmello Rock, Paul Shabazz, Slick Mix. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the love. And my sheroes in hip hop. Thank you. Salute hip hop goddesses. I so appreciate you. MC Shah Rock, Pebbly Pooh, Mercedes Ladies, Sequence, Us Girls, Wanda D, Roxanne Shante, Glamorous. I can go on for days. MC Light, Queen Latifah. Shout out to the up and coming artists. I love y'all. Mocha Band, salute.
I love it. I love it.
I
I love
got some people charge it to my mind, not my heart, because you're always in my heart. I so appreciate and love the culture, and thank you for giving me a platform.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. The honor is ours. I want to thank you so much for coming on here. I'm gonna tell you, I've been excited about this. I've been telling everybody about it. I'm so proud of what you're doing. And I'm gonna be honest with you. What we did right here and a little taste of what you got, of what she's got going on, is not enough. We need a whole 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes of this young lady right here, because she's out there doing some great stuff. There's a lot of stuff we didn't mention that if you go and check out the interview, you can actually hear that as well. And I am personally would love to invite you back, because I know there's going to be some more of this in the future. And thank you for allowing me to play your music on 106tvcradio.com. And you guys, I want you guys to tune in, because as we speak, it has already started. 106tvcradio.com. We're playing her song, Real Hip Hop, and we're also sponsoring other artists as well, that their music is going to be playing, because we are the home of the independent artists. So
salute. Thank you, my sister. And anytime you need me, just call.
Thank you. Thank you. Mwah. Love you.
Salute.